Welcome to the Healthy by Choice website. My name is Jim, and the purpose of this website was to create something that was no hype, no marketing, was not promoting any particular product, but to get the truth out to people about how we can live a healthier life with the conditions that we've been given or the environment that we've been placed in. And there's a lot of information there on the internet, some good, some bad. But how do you know what's real and what's not? How do you know what's fake or what's? It's been very difficult. And a good example is the advertising that we've experienced in the past. For example, the tobacco industry. And you might laugh about this today and think this is ludicrous, but this is what they were putting out years ago and telling us, and people believed it, that cigarettes were good for our throat. They were telling us that it was okay for our babies to smoke. The drug companies were telling us by taking amphetamines we could stay fit and slim. These are actual ads. And asthma was helped to be relieved, like it says, relieved from asthma by smoking cigarettes. Crazy, eh? But one of my favorites is, there was asbestos as well, which we all knew, we all now know is dangerous. And for years and years and years, people said, no, it's dangerous. But they were saying, no, don't be silly. But one of my favorites is this ad where it says, start your children on cola as early as possible. How soon is too soon? As it says, not soon enough. Laboratory tests have proven that babies who start drinking soda during that early formative period have a much higher chance of gaining acceptance and fitting in during those awkward preteen and teen years. So do yourself a favor. Do your child a favor. Start them on a strict regimen of sodas and other sugary carbonated beverages right now for a lifetime. Now, again, we might laugh at this and think, this is crazy. How could anybody fall for this? But you know what? That's how it was 60, 70 years ago. If you question this, then you'd be labeled uneducated, illiterate, even a quack or a conspiracy theorist. What a lot of people don't realize is the same thing is happening right now with many of the products out there. And one example is fluoride, which I wasn't aware of. I'd always been taught, get fluoride for your teeth. It's good for you. There was one study when I researched, and somebody made me aware of this. Said, you should look at the information and see where all this came from. So, even though I was busy, I said, all right, I might as well one day look at it. And when I looked at it, it was true. There's no really studies. There was one study that was shown that it improved the density of the bones in laboratory tests in rats. But what happened is the rats died. So yes, let's argue the fact that it does harden your teeth, but so does concrete and so does superglue. But it doesn't mean that it's good for you, right? And they even have a warning label that says, keep out of reach of children under 6 years of age. If swallowed, get medical help or contact a poison center. Wow, this actual warning was on the toothpaste, which we look at them every day and we don't pay any attention because we think it must be okay. And, that made me think, if you had a warning label on any other product that you weren't supposed to put in your mouth and it said, warning, keep out of reach of children, do not swallow, would you swallow that, or would you put it up high maybe in the garage out of the reach of your children, right? So again, that just didn't make sense to me. But it's not just a toothpaste fluoride. There's so many other things as well. The marketing companies are so smart. They've learned how to market things and get our valuable dollar. And they've taken things that were healthy, like yogurts, orange juice, which has vitamin C, even cereals. And they've put so much sugar in there because when you research on sugar, it is addictive. It is like a drug. And it tricks the brain and you become dependent on it. So that's why children now, they don't like the taste of anything else unless it's got so much sugar in it, okay? Even Gatorade, as you can see, it's got, which I grew up on, playing sport and drinking so many during sports games, even in the one day, has almost the same amount of sugar as Coke. Now, you wouldn't be told drink 3 or 4 Cokes a day to get energy, would you? Gatorade is just as bad. And you can see these other foods are just almost the same, or even more than a chocolate bar. Okay, so What has this resulted in? An increase of type 2 diabetes, even in younger children, as we can see, aged between 9 and 19. There was only 2% in 1980. Then it went up to 30 to 50% in year 2000 and up to 70% in 2010. So effectively, what does this mean? Not only are the kids putting weight on, it's causing an obesity problem, but basically what diabetes does, it ages your arteries around a third faster, your arteries age. So effectively what's happening is you're losing about a third of your life. But it's not just diabetes. You'll find more information on this website on heart disease. Heart disease is killing 1 in 3 people at the moment. Cancer is a big one. 1 in 3 people die from cancer, and then there's Alzheimer's disease and so many other things as well. But it's learning what is the root cause of these degenerative diseases, okay? And one of them is the toxins in our foods. So we have to learn to avoid certain types of foods or not eat as much. And I'm not picking on McDonald's. McDonald's is just one of the companies that actually has put warning labels because it's become evident now. Like it says, chemicals known to cause cancer or birth defects are found in our food sold here today. So again, they do this so they can't be sued because it's become so evident. But you know, a lot of people don't take notice of these, and this is only in some countries. So it's not just McDonald's, like I said, I'm not picking on them. There's over 300 chemicals used in our foods today. We can't avoid all these, but we can at least try and avoid some really, really bad ones, which I'll talk in more detail in some of these presentations, and minimize them as much as possible, because about 80% of the foods on supermarket shelves today didn't exist 100 years ago. And face it, if they're going to stay on the shelves for weeks, months, or even years, they must have certain preservatives in there. Again, we're not going to avoid all these, but we have to minimize these and choose better quality foods. Also want to provide information on the Fukushima disaster. I mean, if people are aware something happened in 2011, well, most people are not aware that this will not be brought up to control for at least another 30 years. It is leaking radioactive material into the oceans. I mean, this is a map of what happened in the first 10 days in the air, but even worse is, as I said, the leakage into the oceans, which it's been proven now, and you'll get more information on this. The fish, seafood, a lot of it in certain oceans is contaminated. They found levels, but what they're saying is, oh, don't worry about it. It's not large enough to cause any health problems. Well, that's debatable. As you know, you'll see on the website, there are things that have been found, even things that are deformities in fish. So again, quite a bit of information there. Also, it's information on our farm seafood. Most might know now, to have a sustainable source of seafood, we've had to farm fish. That's okay. We need to do that, but there are some farms which are putrid, and the chemicals which have been found in the fish is very worrying and frightening. So some are being closed down after a few years. That's how toxic they are. Not only fish, the shrimp, etc. So we have to become a little bit more knowledgeable, vigilant, and Chloe, where are we choosing our fish from farmed seafood? Not just seafood, there's farmed poultry and eggs as well. You know, in actual fact now, because people are becoming more demanding, there's actual cams, webcams, so you can actually see, you know, some of the farms. Okay, so I mean, I prefer to buy my poultry from farms that I can see that's free range and the way they bring it up. So that's what I see happening in the future. There's going to become more of a demand, like people like ourselves that become knowledgeable and know these things are available. But farm fish also hasn't got the nutrients that are wild caught. You can see the difference in the salmon, not only in the color, but you can see the fat content as well. And again, you'll find more information on the feed that they're giving them as well. So some of the feed that they're given is absolutely horrendous. And of course, they're not as healthy. So they're getting all these parasites, which are adding more antibiotics as well. So again, there are better quality farmed than others. And this is where, through other people, even your help out there, if people know which are good, we can share it, and people can research them themselves, and we can provide ourselves with the best quality food. That's my vision, that we get knowledgeable people together and we can find the best sources of different types of foods. Cell phones, definitely dangerous. You know, the research, a little information there. It's right up there, just with microwave ovens, and they're getting worse and worse. Wi-Fi's are pretty bad as well. So, you know, definitely they're causing cancers. We've shown that some of the studies that even for 30 minutes, especially in children, because their skulls aren't developed till their adult years fully, they actually get more brain damage, more radiation in the brain than what adults do. So again, do some research there. There are simple things you can do to lessen it by keeping a certain distance. So again, lots of information on that. Also on medications and drugs. There's way too much. We're over medicated, and and if you research drugs, we all know they have side effects, but people don't realize how bad these side effects are. Here in America, they actually put some of the side effects in commercials. And when you listen to these commercials, you wouldn't use any of these products when you see all the side effects. I'm not saying we're not going to use any at all. There's some that people will need, but you can probably decrease 80 to 90% by just doing some other stuff, which a lot of it is for free. And this is why the pharmaceutical companies won't tell you, because it's for free. They're not going to spend all this money making commercials if it's for free. They're going to make money from it. You see, the pharmaceutical industry, as we know, does not create cures. They want to create customers. I mean, that's their business, okay? So we can't expect them to tell us things that isn't going to make money. So again, want to provide all this because we don't get much education at school. I mean, I wish that was a subject in school, nutrition for ourselves and our children, but it's not. So we have to take the responsibility. And there's also a lot of good things that are happening. I've been fortunate that I've connected some of the top scientists around the world, which now have telling us that they've learned to communicate with our cells using food, and which will make the cells healthier, rejuvenate themselves, and actually last longer. So in other words, it's going to most likely increase our lifespan and also our healthy years. So it's all great. I plan to keep updating this as it comes along, the information comes along, so we can also, have this as a website which we can pass on to our children and grandchildren. So hope you enjoy it. Hope it's entertaining, but most importantly, I hope it creates as much value for you as possible. So please share if you think anybody can benefit.